Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. I'm thrilled to be embarking on this journey with you as we explore the profound and transformative ideas found within Robert Greene's incredible book, Mastery. Over the next few sections, we're going to unpack the secrets behind achieving true mastery in any field, drawing directly from Greene's insights and the fascinating lives of historical and contemporary masters. Now, you might be thinking, mastery? That sounds like something reserved for geniuses or prodigies. But one of the core messages that resonated deeply with me right from the start of the book is that mastery isn't some mystical gift you're born with. It's a path available to all of us through dedication, learning, and a deep connection to our inner selves. Greene lays this out beautifully in the introduction, defining mastery as a form of higher intelligence. It's not just about accumulating knowledge. It's about developing an intuitive understanding of your field, seeing the connections that others miss, and ultimately, reaching a point where your skills become almost second nature. Think about those moments when you're completely absorbed in an activity, time seems to melt away, and you're operating at a level beyond your conscious thought. That's a glimpse into what mastery entails. Greene emphasizes that this isn't some unattainable peak. It's a result of a process, a journey with distinct phases. In fact, he outlines 3 key phases of mastery: the apprenticeship, the creative active phase, and finally, mastery itself. We'll delve deeply into each of these in future sections. But for now, it's crucial to understand that everyone, even the most celebrated masters, had to start at the beginning as apprentices, diligently learning the fundamentals and the rules of their chosen field. Greene also touches on something really intriguing right at the outset: the concept of intuitive intelligence. This isn't about abandoning logic or reason, but rather about developing such a deep understanding that your intuition becomes a powerful guide. It's like a seasoned musician who doesn't have to consciously think about every note they play. It flows from years of practice and immersion. This intuitive understanding, Greene argues, comes from connecting to reality, seeing things as they truly are, without our preconceived notions or biases clouding our judgment. And perhaps most encouragingly, Greene speaks of a latent power within us all. This isn't some fluffy, feel-good notion. He suggests that we have untapped potential waiting to be unleashed when we align ourselves with our true inclinations and dedicate ourselves to a path of learning and growth. It's about tapping into that intrinsic motivation, that deep desire that fuels relentless effort. Moving into the first part of the book, The Ultimate Power, Greene delves into the evolution of mastery. He looks back at our primitive ancestors and the development of the human brain, highlighting the crucial ability to detach and focus. In our hyperstimulated modern world, this ability can feel like a superpower in itself. He also touches on social intelligence even in early hominids and the role of mirror neurons in our capacity to learn and understand others. This hints at the fact that mastery isn't just an individual pursuit. It often involves a deep understanding of the social dynamics within your field. One particularly insightful point he makes is about the mastery of time. Think about how masters in any field seem to have a different relationship with time. They're not rushed or frantic. They understand the long game, the importance of sustained effort over years, even decades. This resonates deeply in a world obsessed with instant gratification. Greene emphasizes the importance of working with the grain of the human brain, understanding how we learn best, and aligning our practices accordingly. This involves recognizing our innate tendencies and how to best cultivate our focus and absorb information. He even connects this back to our early roots, suggesting that there's a fundamental aspect of our human nature that drives us towards mastery when we're truly engaged. Later in this section, Greene introduces compelling ideas like the adaptation strategy, exemplified by Freddie Roach, highlighting the need to constantly evolve and adjust in your field. He also presents the life-or-death strategy through the story of Buckminster Fuller, emphasizing the profound power of finding your true path and sticking to it, even in the face of immense adversity. Fuller's journey, as we'll explore later, underscores the critical importance of aligning your work with something deeply meaningful to you. So, as we begin our exploration of mastery, let's take a moment to reflect on these foundational ideas. Mastery isn't an exclusive club. It's a journey of learning, focus, and self-discovery that begins with a deep connection to our inclinations and a willingness to embrace the process. It's about understanding the phases involved, cultivating our intuitive intelligence, and tapping into that latent power within us. And as we'll continue to see, the path to mastery is paved with dedication, adaptation, and an unwavering commitment to our life's task. Stick with me as we delve into the crucial first phase of this journey, the apprenticeship. Okay, now that we have laid the groundwork by understanding Greene's core idea that mastery is a path of learning and self-discovery accessible to all, we touched upon the three phases of this journey: apprenticeship, creative active, and mastery. Firstly, we're diving deep into the crucial first phase, the apprenticeship. Part 2 of Mastery is aptly titled Submit to Reality, the Ideal Apprenticeship. This title itself holds a powerful message. Greene argues that after our formal education, we enter a second, practical education known as the apprenticeship. This isn't about going back to school. It's about immersing ourselves in the real world of our chosen field and learning the unwritten rules and essential skills directly. He stresses that this phase is critical, and if we don't approach it correctly, we risk getting lost and never reaching our full potential. The overarching goal of this apprenticeship phase is self-transformation. It's not just about acquiring skills. It's about disciplining your mind and evolving into an independent thinker, someone prepared for the creative challenges that lie on the path to mastery. Greene emphasizes that this ideal apprenticeship transcends all fields, meaning the fundamental principles apply whether you're an artist, a scientist, or an entrepreneur. He breaks down the apprenticeship into 3 essential steps or modes. Step 1. Deep observation, the passive mode. This might sound counterintuitive, but Greene insists that the first step is to mute your colors. It's about becoming a keen observer of your environment. This involves carefully watching the rules of the game, understanding the power relationships at play, and truly knowing your environment. Think of it as absorbing the reality of your field without trying to impose your own ideas too early. As Greene suggests, everything you see or hear is a sign for you to decode. This period of deep observation allows you to see behind appearances and understand the underlying dynamics. You begin to analyze why things are the way they are. This aligns perfectly with the idea of submit to reality. You can't master something you don't truly understand at its foundational level. Step 2. Skills acquisition, the practice mode. Once you've diligently observed, it's time to get your hands dirty. This stage is all about gaining tacit knowledge, the kind of practical know-how that isn't explicitly taught, but is learned through doing. Greene draws a parallel to the apprenticeship system of the Middle Ages, where learning was hands-on and guided by experienced masters. He talks about the cycle of accelerated returns. This is where the more you practice, the easier and more interesting it becomes, leading to even more practice and a rapid increase in skill. It's about embracing tedium, those repetitive tasks that build the necessary neural pathways. He even mentions the idea of hardwiring knowledge through dedicated practice. Greene also alludes to the well-known concept of 10,000 hours as a benchmark for significant skill development. Importantly, he stresses the need to begin with one skill that you can master as a foundation, cautioning against the dangers of multitasking. Step 3. Experimentation, the active mode. After building a solid foundation of skills through practice, the final step of the apprenticeship is about gradual self-assertion and experimentation. This is where you start to test your wings, take on more responsibility, and initiate your own projects. It's about overcoming the fear of failure and exposing your work to the criticism of peers or even the public. The point here is to gauge your progress and identify any remaining gaps in your knowledge. Can you take criticism constructively? Can you learn from your mistakes? This active engagement is crucial for transitioning from a passive learner to someone who can creatively apply their skills. As Greene puts it, you move from just learning how others do things to bringing your own style into play. Throughout this section, Greene provides compelling examples of individuals who exemplified these principles. He mentions Charles Darwin's deep observation of nature and how it laid the groundwork for his groundbreaking theories. He also touches upon contemporary figures and their journeys through the apprenticeship. Furthermore, Greene outlines strategies for completing the ideal apprenticeship. One key strategy he highlights early on is to value learning over money. He uses examples like Benjamin Franklin, Albert Einstein, Martha Graham, and Freddie Roach to illustrate this point. The focus in the apprenticeship should be on acquiring skills and knowledge, as the financial rewards will naturally follow mastery. So, the apprenticeship phase, as Greene describes it, is a period of intense learning and self-development. It requires humility to submit to reality, the discipline to put in the necessary practice, and the courage to eventually experiment and find your own voice. It's a journey of transformation that lays the essential foundation for the mastery to come. In the next section, we continue our exploration of mastery and delve into the strategies for navigating this crucial apprenticeship phase in more detail. Moving on, let's continue our exploration of mastery by Robert Greene, picking up with the strategies for completing the ideal apprenticeship. As we discussed, the apprenticeship phase is crucial for self-transformation and building the foundation for mastery. Part 2 of Mastery outlines 8 classic strategies distilled from the lives of various masters to help navigate and complete this essential phase. Here are some of the key strategies Greene presents. Value learning over money. Greene emphasizes that during the apprenticeship, the primary focus should be on acquiring skills and knowledge, as financial rewards will naturally follow mastery. He provides examples such as Benjamin Franklin, Albert Einstein, Martha Graham, and Freddie Roach to illustrate this point. Freddie Roach, for instance, initially worked 2 demanding jobs, including an unpaid apprenticeship, because he prioritized learning his destined trade. Keep expanding your horizons. This strategy is exemplified by the writer Zora Neale Hurston, who constantly pushed against limitations and sought new experiences and knowledge. Greene argues that you should struggle against any limitations, read beyond what is required, and mingle with diverse people to widen your perspective. Whenever you feel settled, you should seek new challenges. Revert to a feeling of inferiority. Greene suggests that maintaining a degree of humility and recognizing what you don't know can fuel your motivation to learn and improve. Daniel Everett is mentioned in connection with this strategy. This aligns with the idea of submitting to reality during the apprenticeship. Trust the process. Cesar Rodriguez's story is used to illustrate the importance of dedication and perseverance, even when progress feels slow. Rodriguez faced intense pressure during his fighter pilot training but trusted his determination and pushed through, ultimately succeeding. Greene emphasizes that intense, focused work over time will yield results. Move toward resistance and pain. This strategy suggests that challenges and difficulties are essential for growth and learning. Just as physical exercise requires resistance to build strength, mental resistance, and overcoming boredom in the initial stages of learning toughen the mind. Bill Bradley and John Keats are associated with this idea. Greene notes that the pain and boredom of learning can even bring a perverse pleasure, knowing the benefits it will bring. Apprentice yourself in failure. Henry Ford's early ventures faced numerous setbacks before his ultimate success. Greene argues that you shouldn't expect everything to go right initially, and that failure can be a valuable learning experience. Acting on ideas early and exposing them to the public, even hoping for failure, can lead to significant gains. Combine the how and the what. Santiago Calatrava's approach of integrating his love for drawing with his later work in architecture illustrates this strategy. Greene suggests valuing both the process of self-discovery, how, and the creation of high-quality work, what, moving by trial and error within the loose constraints of your interests. Advance through trial and error. Paul Graham is mentioned in this context. This strategy emphasizes a flexible approach to learning, where you acquire skills based on circumstances and your deepest interests, seeing what works and what to avoid. This aligns with the hacker model of apprenticeship, valuing self-discovery and quality. These strategies highlight the active role an apprentice must take in their own development. It's not a passive reception of knowledge, but an energetic pursuit of learning, resilience in the face of challenges, and a focus on the long-term goal of mastery. Over the next session, we will delve into the subsequent phase of mastery, the creative active phase. Now, we proceed to the next stage in the journey to mastery as outlined in Robert Greene's Mastery, the creative active phase. Having successfully navigated the ideal apprenticeship by deeply observing, acquiring skills, and experimenting, you now transition into a more dynamic and autonomous stage. In the creative active phase, your accumulated knowledge and skills are applied in more independent and innovative ways. Here are some key aspects of this phase, drawing from the sources. Increased independence and responsibility. As you gain skill and confidence, you naturally move towards more active experimentation. This involves taking on more responsibility and initiating your own projects. Your work becomes more public and is subject to greater scrutiny. Developing your authentic voice. This phase is about expressing your individuality and bringing your own style to your work. It's about finding your unique approach within your chosen field. A focus on high-yield activities. Greene suggests directing your energy towards endeavors that produce significant results and further your mastery. Cultivating mechanical intelligence. This refers to developing a deep, almost intuitive understanding of the tools and techniques of your craft, similar to the Wright brothers' intimate knowledge of their flying machines. Harnessing natural powers. This involves aligning your work with your innate inclinations and strengths, allowing for a more fluid and effective creative process. Exploring the open field. This encourages venturing beyond established boundaries and exploring new possibilities within your domain, exemplified by Martha Graham's innovative approach to dance. Pushing to the high end. This signifies striving for the highest levels of skill and innovation in your field, constantly seeking to improve and refine your abilities, as seen in Yoki Matsuoka's work in robotics and neuroscience. The evolutionary hijack. This concept highlights how creative breakthroughs often occur through unexpected connections and adaptations, building upon existing ideas or circumstances in novel ways, similar to Paul Graham's development of web applications. Dimensional thinking. This involves looking at problems and creations from multiple perspectives and dimensions, allowing for more comprehensive and innovative solutions, as exemplified by Jean-François Champollion's deciphering of hieroglyphs. Alchemical creativity and the unconscious. This strategy emphasizes the importance of tapping into your unconscious mind and allowing for intuitive insights to fuel your creative process, similar to Teresita Fernandez's artistic approach. However, the creative active phase also presents new challenges, particularly emotional pitfalls that can hinder your progress. Some of these include A. Complacency, becoming satisfied with your current level of skill and ceasing to push for further improvement. B. Conservatism, resisting new ideas and clinging to familiar methods, which can lead to stagnation. C. Dependency, relying too heavily on the approval or validation of others, hindering your independent creativity. D. Impatience, wanting immediate results and becoming discouraged by the time and effort required for significant creative work. E. Grandiosity, overestimating your abilities and becoming resistant to feedback or criticism. F. Inflexibility, being unwilling to adapt your approach or ideas in the face of new information or challenges. By understanding the nature of the creative active phase and being aware of these potential pitfalls, you can navigate this crucial stage more effectively and continue your journey toward mastery. Now we delve deeper into the strategies for navigating the creative active phase of your journey to mastery. This phase builds upon the foundation laid during your ideal apprenticeship and focuses on applying your skills and knowledge in increasingly independent and innovative ways. Robert Greene outlines several key strategies to thrive in the creative active phase. Think like a thief, the creative use of others. This doesn't mean plagiarism, but rather learning from and creatively adapting the ideas and innovations of others to fit your own unique direction. It involves seeing other people's work as raw material for your own creativity. Create your own school, the power of self-education. While mentorship is valuable during the apprenticeship, in the creative active phase, you take greater ownership of your learning. This involves actively seeking out knowledge, experimenting, and drawing your own conclusions based on your experiences. This resonates with the concept of self-apprenticeship we discussed earlier. Return to the source, the power of primitives. This strategy encourages looking back at the fundamentals and the initial spark that drew you to your field. By stripping away layers of convention and complexity, you can rediscover essential principles and find fresh perspectives. This ties into the idea of reconnecting with your life's task. Awaken the dimensional mind, the power of looking inward. This involves cultivating the ability to see your work and your field from multiple perspectives, including those that are not immediately obvious. It requires detaching from your own biases and assumptions to gain a more comprehensive understanding. This is linked to the idea of dimensional thinking we previously mentioned. The evolutionary hijack, trusting accidents and the unconscious. As we touched upon earlier, creativity often arises from unexpected connections and the repurposing of existing ideas or skills. This strategy encourages you to be open to chance occurrences and to trust the insights that emerge from your unconscious mind. Create tension, the power of the primal forces. Working under pressure, whether real or self-imposed, can heighten focus and stimulate creative breakthroughs. Embracing challenges and pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone can unlock new levels of innovation. This echoes the earlier strategy of moving towards resistance and pain. The detour, the power of the circuitous path. Sometimes, the most direct route isn't the most creative. Taking unexpected turns or exploring seemingly unrelated areas can lead to novel insights and innovations when you eventually return to your main focus. The open field, creating something out of nothing. This strategy encourages you to identify gaps or unmet needs in your field and to venture into uncharted territory. By creating something new, you can define your own space and establish a unique position. This relates to the idea of exploring the open field we mentioned earlier. Throughout this phase, it is crucial to remain vigilant against the emotional pitfalls that can stifle creativity, such as complacency, conservatism, and impatience. By actively employing these strategies and maintaining a dynamic and inquisitive mindset, you can harness your growing mastery to produce significant and original work. Finally, let's move on to the part of Robert Greene's mastery and conclude this discussion by exploring fuse the intuitive with the rational mastery. This is the culmination of the journey we've been discussing, building upon the dedicated learning of the apprenticeship and the independent innovation of the creative active phase. In this final stage, your deep immersion in your field over many years leads to an internalization and an intuitive feel for its complexities. This isn't just about accumulating knowledge. It's about reaching a level where your understanding becomes almost instinctive. Here are the key aspects of mastery as presented by Greene. Higher form of intelligence. Mastery represents the high point of human potential, a form of intelligence that allows you to see more of the world, anticipate trends, and respond with speed and accuracy. This intelligence isn't taught in schools, but is cultivated through intense immersion and staying true to your inclinations. Fusing intuition and rationality. The defining characteristic of mastery is the seamless integration of your intuitive feel for your field with rational thought processes. This fusion expands your mind to its outer limits, allowing you to perceive the underlying principles and even the secret core of life itself within your domain. Masters gain a power that approximates the instinct of animals, but with the added reach of human consciousness. The fingertip feel. Masters develop a deeply embodied understanding of their craft, a fingertip feel for the nuances and intricacies of their field. This allows them to make judgments and take actions based on subtle cues and patterns that others might miss. Examples like Jane Goodall's feel for chimpanzees and Erwin Rommel's feel for battle illustrate this intuitive understanding. Time as a crucial factor. Mastery is not achieved quickly. It requires extensive time and dedicated study, often cited as around 20,000 hours of focused practice. However, it's not just about the quantity of time, but also making that study time qualitatively rich. Seeing the whole picture. In the mastery phase, your depth of knowledge and experience allows you to see the entire system or field with complete clarity. You understand how all the components connect and interact. This comprehensive understanding is what allows masters to make profound contributions and create truly impactful work. The roots of masterly intuition. This intuition develops through engaging with complexity and gaining a tolerance for chaos. By repeatedly encountering and navigating intricate situations, your brain forms mnemonic networks that allow for rapid pattern recognition and intuitive insights. Return to reality. Greene also emphasizes the importance of a return to reality in the mastery phase, where you see the interconnectedness of all life and the ultimate reality of your field. This allows for a deeper understanding and more profound contributions. Throughout the book, Greene illustrates these concepts with biographies of historical and contemporary masters, such as Marcel Proust, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and others, showing how they progressed through the phases and ultimately achieved mastery by fusing their intuitive understanding with rational thought. Achieving mastery is a transformative process that unlocks a powerful form of intelligence, allowing you to operate at the highest levels of your potential and make significant contributions to your chosen field. This concludes our discussion of all of the phases of mastery as outlined in Robert Greene's Mastery. All right, everyone. That brings us to the end of this episode of the podcast dedicated to exploring Robert Greene's profound work, Mastery. We've taken a deep dive into the 3 essential phases on the path to achieving true mastery in your chosen field. We began by understanding the crucial ideal apprenticeship. This foundational stage is all about deep observation, absorbing knowledge, and patiently acquiring the necessary skills under the guidance of mentors or through rigorous self-education. It's about submitting to reality and diligently honing your abilities. From there, we journeyed into the creative active phase. This is where you begin to apply your accumulated knowledge independently, experiment with new ideas, and develop your own unique voice and style. We explored various strategies for navigating this dynamic phase, such as thinking like a thief by creatively using the ideas of others, cultivating self-education, returning to the fundamentals, and embracing the power of the unconscious. It's a period of increased independence and responsibility, but also one that demands vigilance against emotional pitfalls like complacency and conservatism. Finally, we arrived at the culmination of this journey, mastery itself, the fusion of the intuitive with the rational. This is where years of dedicated immersion lead to an almost instinctive understanding of your field, a fingertip feel for its intricacies. Mastery is characterized by a seamless integration of your intuitive insights with rational thought, allowing you to see the whole picture and operate at the highest levels of your potential. It's about achieving a higher form of intelligence cultivated through time, dedication, and a deep connection to your life's task. Achieving mastery is a transformative process that requires immense dedication, patience, and a constant willingness to learn and evolve. It's a journey that ultimately leads to not just exceptional skill, but a profound and intuitive understanding of the very fabric of your chosen domain. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Robert Greene's Mastery. We hope this discussion has provided you with valuable insights into the path towards achieving mastery in your own life. Until next time, keep learning, keep creating, and keep striving for mastery.